descriptive, high quality images can make a huge impact on your records. Not only does it make it a lot more eye-catching for the user, but it can also increase confidence of the user. So for example, if I check out a trail on Fundy Connect and I see some images of it and it gives me a better sense of what I would expect when I got there, I might be more likely to actually take action and go out and visit that trail. So kind of keep that in mind when you're picking photos too. It's not necessarily just to enhance the record just for the sake of it. It's actually to help the user get a better sense of the opportunity that they're looking at. What can they expect? So the first thing to consider when you're choosing photos, especially if you're going to be taking the photos, if you're going out to get a photo of something and you have the opportunity to do it right from the outset, you want to make sure that you're taking landscape orientation photos, so lengthwise like this across the page, as opposed to portrait orientation, which are just taller. So that's just simply because of scrolling. As you're scrolling through the record, it takes a lot more time to scroll past big tall photos than it does to scroll past something that's a little bit more narrow and wide. The other thing about images that we have to remember is that because we're uploading them and then we're linking them into the site, which we're going to show in the next video, how to actually embed images from Amazon Web Service and put them into your record. So we don't want them to be too big because they'll take a longer time loading. So what we want to do is also change the size of the image before it gets uploaded so that it's still high quality and it's the perfect width to fit across the page, but it's not too big or any bigger than necessary so that we don't have to load large images. So what I'm going to do, I just have a few example photos pulled together in this folder here. And before I would add a photo to Amazon Web Services, so before I upload it, I might do a little bit of an edit on it. So the first thing we have to do is change the size. So I'm just going to pick this one, for example, because it's nice and square. So I want to make that a little bit more landscape, and it also looks like it's pretty big. So if I hover over it here, I can see that the dimension is over 1,200 pixels wide. So I'm going to open that. Now here's sort of the unique part for everybody. If you have a photo editor that you like to use, you can right click and open the image in your default or chosen photo editor. If you don't have something that you like to use, there's lots of open source or free online photo editors that you can use. You can also simply right click and hit edit, and that will open it in sort of a default program that your computer is set up to. If you have a Windows computer, it's likely going to be Paint, so you can right click and hit edit. And I'm going to do it in Paint just simply to show that even if you don't have a fancy program, you can do it with what you've got. So this is just a free program that comes on the computer. So I'm going to right click and hit edit. And that is going to open that up. I'm just going to shrink it a little here so we can see it. So that's going to open the image up here in Paint. So depending on the editor that you're using, it might be a little bit different. So in this case, I'm going to want to click resize to start. Now that pops up a little dialog box here. It might be different language depending on the photo editor that you're using. It might say scale or a similar word that describes the same thing. So whatever it says, you're going to try to find the place where you would resize an image, and then you go to pixels instead of percentage and see here how we have 1205. We're going to take that away and make sure that you have maintain aspect ratio checked on. So that means whenever we change the horizontal width, the vertical height is going to automatically change so that we don't lose our dimensions and get distorted. Okay, so what we want to do, and typically when we're using high quality photos, which is what you want to be using and which is what you'll get from your cell phone even, we're going to switch it down to 950 pixels. And that's going to change our vertical height automatically. And I'm going to hit OK. Perfect. So now it's the perfect height or the perfect width for Connect. But as you can see, this image is a little bit square still. So it's a little bit tall. And I would like to see this a little bit more landscape, a little bit more wide and short. So I'm going to crop it. There's a lot of sky here, so I'm just going to take out a bunch of that sky and just keep the bottom section. And then if you hit crop, so now I've got this more nice landscape image. So I would save that to my computer and make sure that you name it something that's descriptive so that it's easy to find and identify in the future. And then that is the image that we will then upload to Amazon Web Services and embed into the record.